Hello and welcome to another episode of Modular in a Week. And today it's part 4 of our Baby8 endeavor. So in this last part of what we can do with the Baby8, I want to show you how you can cascade them for longer sequences. So instead of a Baby8 we can now go up to a Baby16, for example, as you can see in front of you here. So what I have here is two Baby8s that I've put together that is running one after the other. And it took some time for me to fix this. I needed to have two relatively functional Baby8s so I could show this, and to get the cascade in and out, because I wanted to have them plug and playable cascading. So not hardwired cascaded, but that you could actually plug in more Baby8s to just make as long a chain as you'd like. And now I finally have figured that out. So that's what I want to show you today. I'd like to say thank you to my patrons who really are making it possible for me to do these videos, pushing me along, cheering me even when I sit and have my long soldering sessions that seldom go well. For example, when I did these, they didn't work from the beginning because I had done some mistakes on the PCB. But some of them followed that along and cheered me along, and yeah, then I had to just sit and think about this for a couple of hours. That's not good entertainment anywhere, so I did that off camera. But anyway, thank you guys, you're amazing, and with that, let's go and look how to wire this up so we can get the cascading to work as well. First I need to explain how and why this works. And to show this, I found Phobosapiens again over on electromusic.com. Have done a really nice circuit diagram of this that explains it a bit. I'll try to explain it a bit more. So if we want to cascade to 4017s, you need the clock input to both, first of all. And then there's one pin 13, that we have in previous videos about the Baby8. We have just connected the pin 13 to ground because that is a clock inhibit. So when pin 13 goes high, it stops the clock from running. And then we have the reset pin on pin 15. So the important thing here is that we're counting the steps here, and when we come up to the pin where we want to reset, in this case it is pin 9 Q8. So so we count 8 steps and then we want to reset. So usually what we do is we send the reset, and here we have he's done a little switch here, so we send the Q8 into the reset, and that resets the circuit, so it goes to count number 8 and then it starts over from 0 or 1. So it just rolls like that. But instead what we need to do, so we need to remove the pin 13 to ground and instead add that to whichever reset pin we use, reset out that is. So again, pin 9 we connect to pin 13. So when pin 9 goes high, the clock inhibit is active and we won't, and this one will stop counting. And at the same time we go down and we reset this circuit down here. And when we reset this, this one will start counting down to pin 9, where it goes to clock inhibit, and this one stops. And here comes the thing, that at the same time as we send pin 9 to clock inhibit, we also send it to reset. So then we reset this one, and this one starts counting. And then this one is inhibited, and we reset this one, and this one starts counting. So that's the theory, that it should jump in between here. An important part here is that if we just connect it like this without the capacitor here, both circuits will end up freezing, and we won't be able to run it. What especially the 100 picofarad here does is it creates from the gate coming here, it creates a trigger. So and I'll go through this in a bit more. This is really interesting. This is the circuit that got me to understand how a capacitor in the path like this works. So, but in short, it takes a gate signal, and depending on the value, it charges the capacitor, and then it stops the signal. So what happens is, when we reset this one, it goes down here, reset, and it charges this one up and just puts a small spike in here, reset, and then this line is actually connected to ground until this one is run, and we send the clock inhibit and reset, and the same here, just a small spike to the reset. Because if we don't have the capacitor here, this one will just, they will just hold each other reset high and none will work. So very important. So in our circuit, we've done this a bit more complicated with our reset switches. So if you have those or not, depends. So if you don't, let's begin if we don't have them. Or yeah, no matter if we got them or not, pin 9 connected to pin 15, we need to remove that connection. And we also need to remove the connection from pin 13 to ground. Now if you don't have these, then you can just connect pin 9 to pin 13, and you're done. But because we have the resets pins, we need to do this. So we need to connect pin 9 to the reset switches over there, and then we need to cut this line actually. And so I want to have these cascadable one after the other, as many as I'd like. So therefore I want to add a jack here, and we call this cascade out. It's also reset out. And I need this to be a breaking jack. It's one of those jacks that, if we take this for example, when you connect the cable in here, the cable is connected to this line. But when there's no cable connected, there's a little spring in here that connects this terminal to this terminal, so the signal goes like that instead. So we take that breaking jack and we set that back in here like so. And we need that to be a 1K resistor there, otherwise the reset might go the wrong way. So should be something like that. And this here should also be a reset in, or in our case, cascade in. This does not have to be a breaking jack. This is just a normal jack that the breaking pin of this one is just connected to the same jack here. So this will come here and it will go into our comparator and it will go up into our reset. So again, we need to add a capacitor here to as a really simple gate to trigger circuit. And for this circuit to work, I need a 10 nanofarad capacitor here. So with these alterations, it should now be possible to cascade these one after the other. And as you saw in the introduction, I've built a little really simple Baby8 for this purpose. Again, it wasn't really as good as it should have been. There was some missing pieces as usual. But what this is a simple Baby8 with just the cheapest components available. So trim pots put on a PCB board. That is also the front panel and the motherboard, or whatever we should call it, in the back. It's kind of this circuit. It's just redrawn a bit, where I have just the board here with just pin headers to connect with cables, or headers to the front panels of this. But to show you how this works, let's go over to the modular and connect this one with another one and see how we connect them for it to work. So here we have it in the rack, and the first important thing is that you need the clock input to both. And because these are two separate modules, I need to split the signal with, for example, a passive multiple, and add the clock to that one and to that one. And as soon as I do that, they start counting, and now they're out of sync, of course. We can just reset both and release at the same time, and they are in sync for that matter. But we want to cascade these. So here we have the cascade out and cascade in of the both, and this one is the breaking jack. So once we plug something in there, this one will stop counting because it is sitting and waiting for the reset to come from the next one. So now we connect this to reset in, and now they're both stopped counting. So now we need to add the reset out, cascade out, to the cascade in of the first one, and now they start counting again and going there and over there. If we stop one, that will stop them both, and again they will start doing that. We can do that. We stop, and then we can step each step, and when it goes over to the last one, it starts counting because that one is running and this one is not. Alright, so here I have a path going, showing off some of the stuff that you can do with cascaded Baby8s. So they're hanging down here, and as you can see, first this one plays and this one plays. Now what I've done is one of the sequencers goes to one VCO playing the bass, if we call it that, and the other one goes to another, both 46 simple VCOs and one has the signal in from a hex oscillator here to just play with the timbre a bit. And the bass goes directly into the mixer, and the quirky melody thing goes into the Vactual VCA. And the Vactual VCA is controlled by the output of the cascade out from the bass playing sequencer is split up here in passive multiple. One signal goes into the cascade in on the melody there, and the other one goes to the Vactual VCA CVN. So when the bass sequencer goes into clock inhibit mode and sends the signal to this one, the reset to this one to continue playing, then it holds the cascade output high. So this one is high when it's not playing, and thus opening the Vactual VCA so we can hear this one, and it turns off when it's just playing the bass. So that's why otherwise we would hear just the tone, just like we heard the last tone of the bass all the time. We can do the same thing with the. Let's do this. Let's patch up the other one as well. Right, so now we have it like we want it. So now we're only playing the bass and jumping over to that one. So just using all the possibilities of the sequencer, we can do quirky things like that. And with that we have the cascading functioning working on these as well, so we can make huge sequences with this. This is a very low cost kind of Baby8 I've made. As you've seen throughout the video, it is made with like trim pots instead of real potentiometers, and it's actually built, all the components are on the panel, so nothing, well, there's a control module in the back, but all the jacks and everything is soldered to the panel, so makes it really cheap to do. and because I want to have many of these. It's an interesting way of doing that, I guess. If I manage to get them easy enough for anyone to solder, I might put them in the shop. I'm not promising anything of that though. So yeah. And for the rest of this day, we're sequencers, and it's been a long day. I really would like to do at least one, hopefully two other modules. I'm right now trying to get a somewhat not too complicated quantizer building, but that is a really difficult build, and to make it small and simple is not that simple. So I'm working on that, and also I'd like to have, because this some of the patches we use the two Vactrols to switch between the two sequences and two oscillators. I would like to have a gate or CV control switch as well, so I'm also looking into that. I'm a bit backtracked right now, or backlogged, so that's why. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll stop rambling now, and I'll see you in the next episode. And make sure you subscribe and you hit the bell button and do all that so you don't miss the next episode. Who would want to do that? So anyway, take care. Bye.